Hello again, everybody. This is Derek from ScreamingGoAirsoft.com, and today what we're going to be doing is another know-it-all. This is really just a continuation of me continuing to spray paint my stuff multicam, and I'm going to show you all the different. I'm going to show you step by step again how I did it. Since I'm going to do it, I figured I might as well just film it and put it up because you might have missed my first video. I have another video up there, how to spray paint multicam, and what I did was I spray painted a helmet and my mask. I thought it turned out so good that I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do my weapon, and I'm going to do my gun camera mount. I'm going to do my PEQ box, and I'm also going to do my magazines. Now, before we get started, I do want to know that I've already prepped these. The way you would prep them is obviously you'd clean them off, clean all the dirt and grime off of them so that the paint will be able to adhere to the surface. Also, you want to cover anything that you don't want any overspray or any, you don't want any spray paint to go into. And on my gun, I'll show you some things that I've covered so that you will, maybe you'll get the same ideas. Okay, well, I have an external battery line right here because I use the PEQ box for my battery. So you got to make sure that that's covered. You don't want any paint in there because that might interfere with your battery connection. Also, you want to, if you have any optics, and I'm leaving my optics on. I guess I could take it off and spray paint it separately or whatever, but I wanted the pattern to match the gun. I'm not going to take it off. I never do take it off. So what you got to do is you got to make sure that the lenses are completely covered because you don't want any spray paint on those. Also, this is a battery powered optic, so the dial here has some numbers and letters telling me like how intense the red or green dot is. So I covered that up so that I'll continue to. So I'll be able to continue to see it. Also, your magazine well. I covered my magazine well. I also filled that with a little bit of extra blue painter's tape. Mainly inside there I covered the hop-up mechanism. I didn't want my hop-up to be painted. I didn't want painting to go into interfere. Now there's something you could do is if you broke your weapon down, you could take your barrel and hop-up out completely, and that would save you a little bit of hassle. You could take your gearbox out completely, but I'm not going into all that. So what I do is I just covered up the magazine well. Now, I didn't want any overspray going in my barrel, so if you notice, I placed one of those, a simple foam earplug, the kind you wear when you go to the rifle range. I put one of those inside the tip of my barrel. What else did I cover? Okay, that right here, there's a spring right there. Now, I'm not really concerned about the spring, but under the spring, there's kind of a gap that goes into my, it goes onto my gearbox inside, and I didn't want that to be painted, so I just covered up that little hole there. Okay, oh, also on my pistol grip. Now my pistol grip has, the bottom plate is vented to allow heat to escape from your motor, so I made sure I covered that up so I didn't overspray the motor itself. Okay, so that's basically it on the gun. This is the gun mount. This is a real steel helmet mount for my camera. This is a gun cam mount or a helmet cam mount. Well, in the future, it's going to be mounted to my new airframe helmet, and I'm going to be mounting it like right over there. And I wanted this, instead of just to be solid black, to go ahead and be multicam. Now, there is like a clear plastic lens that goes there to protect the camera from any incoming shots. Simple, it just pops right out. So I took that out, that way I won't spray the plastic lens. PEQ box, simple enough. I am going to spray it with the back plate not on it, that way the back plate gets painted and then this gets painted. No preparation needed for that. Magazines. Okay, now on the top of the magazines, I've covered it with the tape so no paint gets inside the reservoir, the chamber for a high cap, and also the feed tube. I wanted to make sure that that was covered also. A lot of these are Lonex. There's no need to cover that, so I just closed it up when I paint it. You'll see some earlier attempts at multicam, and this is not even anywhere near close to multicam. So, not like this new technique I'll show you today if you continue watching this video. Okay, so I've got like 3 Lonex magazines, and a high cap and 2 mid caps that I'm going to be doing. And that's it. Again, river rock. And I'm going to let this side dry, flip it over, spray again, and then we'll put decals on. Also, there is something I wanted to point out on the rails. You'll notice that a lot of the rail systems have number systems, so you know where to put your optics and grips and stuff back when you take them off. This is airsoft, and I'm not really too concerned about that. But if you were concerned about that, all you would need to do is just cover those things with tape so that when you spray, those numbers would not be covered. Same thing with the front sight post. A lot of guys say cover the front sight post. You know what? I don't care. To me, a white front sight post is just as easy to see as a black one. Okay, we'll let this dry, and then we'll go on to the next step, the stencils. The next color is your Krylon Camouflage Brown. It's a really dark brown. Alright, now that it's completely brown, we'll let that dry and then we'll put the stencils on, and then we'll do the next colors. Alright guys, now that the dark brown has dried, and I've put the decals on, you can see that these are kind of the same as the white decals, and I put them on the magazines. If you've noticed, I put most of the decals in the lower half, because when you do put it in your weapon, you know, your magazines are going to be half concealed inside the weapon. I put a few decals on each item, not too many, just enough to, when I do peel them, I'm going to have some dark brown underneath. Okay, now what we're going to do now is we're going to blend. We're going to blend with 2 colors, a dark brown. This isn't like dark brown, this is just your regular old medium brown. And then I'm also going to use sage green. All right, I do believe this is sage green. Spruce green. Spruce green. And when we paint spruce or brown, now when I paint this, what I'm going to do is paint from the upper to the lower in a downward right hand diagonal stripes. Basically, I'm going to put a stripe here, stripe there, and I'm going to do this all the way down to create stripes, okay, on the subject matter. Now when I do that, I'm going to do about a 50-50 with the brown and the green. This is a smaller item, so I'm really only going to do like front half, back half kind of thing. While the green is still drying, I go ahead and go on it with the brown. I haven't even flipped these over yet. Okay. So the brown and the green paint will actually mix a little bit. Alright guys, and now that the brown and the green is dried, I've got some larger stencils. These large stencils will go on the items, and when you put them on there, you want to make sure that you put them in such a way that you see brown and green under the stencil, so you get kind of a fade effect. Now what I'm going to do is use my light green and tan to paint in an opposite direction. So with my greens and my browns going in this direction, my tans and light greens are going to go in this direction. Alright, it's getting kind of dark out, so once I get this done and I peel the tags off, or the stencils, and I let it dry, I'll give you the finished product and you'll see what the effect looks like. Alright, here are some of the items that I painted earlier, and I got it backlayed on my Multicam jacket just so you can kind of see it. Now this is this is the last paint step where I have the green and the tan khaki faded, and then I have to take the stencils off, and then when I take the stencils off, you should have a pretty cool effect on the gear. Alright, so let me take the stencils off and I'll be right back. Alright, now the only step I have now is to clear coat it, to seal the paint, and then once I do that, then I will take off the tape that sealed up all the things that I wanted to cover, you know, like lenses and motor housings and mag wells and stuff like that. But as you can see, these colors came out really well. The only problems that I had was on my King Arms, the polymer body. Okay, it's a fiber polymer body, it's not the metal body. And the paint, if you look right there, the first coat of paint, which was the River Rock, right through here, it didn't adhere very well. Right through there, it didn't adhere very well. It happened the exact same thing on the other side. Let me flip the gun over so you can kind of see. You can kind of see right there that it didn't adhere very well right there. But once I seal this up, that's going to be hardly noticeable. It actually kind of adds to the camouflage effect, and that's fine by me. But I really do like the way it turned out. Okay, as you know, my suppressor, it's got that multicam look. My buttstock has a multicam look. My pistol grip does. My scope. Everything has kind of a multicam look. Alright, well, thanks for coming out and checking out this video, and I appreciate you watching me paint up some of my gear again. And check out some of my other videos, and remember to like us in Google Plus and on Facebook, and subscribe to the channel. And remember, guys, whenever you're on the airsoft field, play safe.